the NBA season is done, unfortunately. The Knicks, they went on to win the finals. They won 4-1 after the Spurs blew it all. That's all I got for you guys today. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. It's Ballin Out. Sean, Nate, and Graham back at you guys. Just, going to talk about game 5, what ended up transpiring. Knicks en route to their championship, ending their 50-year droughts, and, kind of just recapping, ending the season, putting a bow on the season. As like we said, now we're getting into free agency and draft time. So time for teams to start looking to the future and retooling. And, the draft is supposed to be pretty deep as well. So we'll look at that at another date. But today, just like I said, just finished off this finals, man. Just like the Knicks did to the Spurs. Knicks won game 5, 94-90. It was the same script as we've seen all finals long. Spurs go up early, first quarter, have a halftime lead, then fall apart in the second half. Knicks come back, steal it. It was just, I didn't think it was going to happen again at home, but the inexperience, I think, kind of caught up to him a little bit. But yeah, I mean, just what are you guys' thoughts on game 5 and, the Knicks winning the chip?
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. It's inexperience, that was showing the most. It was basically exactly what happened again. Just I don't know what's going on with the Spurs and playing just really good in the first half, and then just kind of just seeming to be complacent. I mean, I know when just shots aren't going, but like I think a lot of it's on Mitch Johnson. Honestly, I don't think he coached a really good final series at all. I think it was actually really bad. He just, I think, just tried dying like on his sword of saying like De'Aaron Fox will be the guy that will kind of run the offense and we'll go from there. When I mean, Dylan Harper had maybe one bad shooting game, like 6-18, but other than that, like I thought he was a main focal point of that offense, regardless of him being a rookie. I thought he'd, talk about inexperience. I thought he actually showed up and kind of looked exactly the opposite. I thought he looked really composed. I thought he looked really good. But like you mentioned, yeah, just kind of kudos to the Knicks. I mean, they just simply outbattled them in the second half every single game, it felt like. And yeah, just kind of speak on the whole series itself. I think, the Knicks were, or excuse me, the Spurs were leading for about 70% of that series. And, basically got swept almost, so it's like, it's just that right there just explains all of it. It's just the lack of coaching, lack of, experience and some of that. I just think Knicks were just better in those aspects, and at the end of the day, that's all they needed. They didn't need the whole first half to go out there and win. They just needed to just play better and play as a team. Really, that second half, and that was enough when it was enough. So definitely, could tip your caps to them. They look really good. Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, Cat. I mean, really, it was top to bottom. Just a good performance from the team.
I think Brunson said it in the post game where he was like, for some reason, we show up 30 minutes later than when the game actually starts. So they they had to deal with that, obviously in a couple of these games, but hats off to them. Big congrats to their fans. I know it's obviously been a very long time. Uh, we weren't born. A lot of people weren't born the last time the Knicks won the finals. So it's cool to see their fan base be able to celebrate, even though some of the videos were kind of crazy of like people fighting and New York just being crazy. But it's cool to see. I like how the last couple years we've just had a different champion every single year. It just kind of adds to like the talent dispersion that's in the NBA right now. I think there's a lot that can be said about the Spurs too, even with how young of a team they were and being able to beat a Thunder team that looked unbeatable and make it to the finals. And although they lost some pretty bad games, like or in like bad ways, I still think they ultimately had a successful season. It's just kind of unfortunate how it ended for them, but I think they'll be a team that they're gonna have to worry about. The league's gonna have to worry about for the next couple years anyway. So, but I mean, Game 5, it was exciting. I liked seeing it, and I think especially Jalen Brunson stepping up in the biggest moment and having that 45-point performance and winning MVP. So
Yeah, that 45 performance was huge. I mean, I was watching the game. I didn't realize he was going crazy like that. Second half, he really stepped up. And, as granted, he got finals MVP, averaging 32, 4 and 4 across, the 5 games. Where would you guys rank this as far as like the most recent performances, let's say the last 5 years, just his performance, in the finals.
I mean, honestly, you gotta put it up there. It's a good question. I mean, looking back on it, I mean, if we're taking just Finals MVP, you're saying just like who had the best overall series between all of our former
Yeah,
MVPs?
let's do finals MVPs. Yeah, let's just do those last five. So I know it's Shea, Jalen Brown,
Jokic.
Steph,
Jalen Brown did
Jokic.
that for sure, but like, I'm debating about putting them like, I mean, more impactful. Like Jokic has got to be up there too. I mean, I think Shea's was just a little bit better, but like, I'm trying to put it two right now. It's kind of where I'm looking at it. Like two, I mean, 2, 3 for sure. I don't think it's anywhere below that. So I think right there, just kind of speaks to one. I think the team was really good. I think the Knicks just played really well, but like he was the guy that got like every single clutch shot. It felt like just kind of got them to those, when they're going through, scoreless droughts, whatnot. I feel like he was just always that guy, and it was special. I mean, last year he was the most clutch player for a reason, and it just kind of seemed to carry on this year. So yeah, like I mean, yeah, I would say just the past 5 years, I'm putting him probably number two right there, just behind SGA, and I think SGA is phenomenal. I think his last year was really really well, uh, productive.
Yeah.
I'd probably agree. I think I it honestly reminds me of like, uh, and it was a little bit longer ago, I guess like 2021, but Giannis too. Like as the series went on, he just seemed to get better and better, and I think that's kind of what the same with Brunson is like. He knew the moment called for him. And, obviously OG had some great games and Bridges stepped up one game too, but like he obviously was the guy that made everything go. And I would probably say for their circumstances too, of like being a team that has this long drought, it's even more pressure added onto you. So I'd probably put it, yeah, like one or two.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it's up there. I'd say, yeah, really the only other one, I know it's not the last 5 years, but I mean, it's recent, is Giannis. I think, that was just dominant. And I think that's what Brunson was just, dominant all throughout the series here. But yeah, you mentioned the supporting cast of OG. Cat, I mean, they had a great series as well. Mikal Bridges, he finally broke through, after blowing that 2-0 lead back in the day against Milwaukee and Giannis. But I mean, just like this Knicks team as a whole, I know he talks about them a lot, like on the offensive ends, like how dominant just their offense was. But I got to give credit to their defense too. Like some of these plays that they were making, Josh Hart, Mikal, Jose Alvarado playing a big impact, especially in those last two games. I think that was key for them to, go on to win the championship. But what you
Mitchell
guys think on?
Robinson.
Yeah, Mitch Robinson too. He had his moments. I mean, what you guys think about just their dominance on the defensive end?
Yeah, no, it was truly something special. I mean, Alvarado, we know exactly what he's capable of. He's just a guy that gets in there and just disrupts things, just gets the offense in shambles for the most part, and so that was special. And then, like as good as we talked about Jalen Brunson being just like on the offensive side, like nobody really said a word about his defense, which is pretty good. I mean, if you're not talking about it, really, that means he's doing his job. He's locking up, and he's also doing it on the offensive end too. So to see that OG was great. Mikal Bridges, I mean, it really was. It was a phenomenal effort across the board there. It really, I mean, I thought the thing with Mitchell Robinson was like, I think his injury kind of affected him a little bit more, kind of on the offensive end, on kind of finishing some of those putbacks or alley oop dunks and whatnot. But like defensively, like defensive rebound, offensive rebounding, like he was a menace down there, and it was very very obvious there. So yeah, all those guys, and then yeah, just a shout out to Mitchell Robinson. More on the rebounding numbers though, because I thought he played really well.
Yeah, to what you were speaking on too with Alvarado, I feel like when they first traded for him, I didn't think he would play as much as he did down the stretch. He ultimately kind of took Deuce McBride and his role of kind of that backup guard, and he ran with it. He played great. But yeah, I mean, even like I think Ananobi too. I mean, he has really been their two-way guy, and it was surprising. I think it was game 4 where it seemed like there was some times in the game where they were trying to like attack him, and it's like, why are you trying to attack one of their best defensive players? But yeah, the whole team, I mean, all playoffs was just continually getting better and better offense and defense side. So yeah, it was special to see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I kind of forgot about Deuce McBride. He played a little bit, but yeah, Jose Alvarado did come in, kind of do that. And shout out to Mitch Robinson too. He was the longest tenured Nick on that team, so he saw it all. I mean, the bad days, the decent days, and yeah, now champion. So, but on to the Spurs. I mean, Wemby, we all know, didn't play his greatest, really series. Fox, I mean, we could go on and on about him for days, but what's next for the Spurs? What do they need to do? Is it a thing of like going to get Giannis, and bringing him to the team, or is it kind of like just little moves that they need to make around the margins to, be back here?
I don't think you have to do anything drastic by any means, but you really got to make a decision on De'Aaron Fox. I think that's kind of like the guy you got to look at and just be like, I mean, he's gonna get paid over the next 4 years, like $200 million basically. So it's like,
Yeah, he's
I
getting
get
paid
it.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, I get it. He's had like great moments when he's been on the Spurs. Not saying he hasn't, you know, had some good shining lights, but at the end of the day, when it came down to the clutchest moments, like it wasn't there. And we talked about how Wemby didn't have like his greatest finals, but like his bad games, I thought were still so much better than De'Aaron Fox's best game of the playoffs. So it's
Mhm.
just like you really got to find a guard there because I think, or really what to do with him. Because I think if you were to move on from him, you have a young guy in Dylan Harper who I think you could easily kind of slot into that position there. And really, he was asking for it too. Like at the end of it, I mean, he was saying, you know, I want to play those, quality minutes, those clutch time minutes. I want to kind of be the guy that runs the offense. And I think really too, with that, De'Aaron Fox got to get looked at, but Mitch Johnson, I think we got to really take a hard look in the mirror too. Just see if that's something the Spurs want to continue on with. 'Cause I think they're close. I think it's one of those things where, like you kind of knew like the Celtics team, like they were due to get back to the finals, and they've kind of got back there. This year wasn't the greatest, but I think like that's kind of how I view the Spurs team. Like they have all the makings to get to the finals. You just kind of fine tweaking a couple things here and there, in my opinion. I don't think it's a drastic move by any means for them.
Wait, hold on, time out. You thinking Mitch Johnson should be fired
Oh
after
yeah,
1 year?
yeah, I think he should get fired. I think they should give him the boot. Yeah, I think he should get fired. Seriously, I think it was the worst coach finals that we've seen in a while. I mean, it's Doc Rivers basically, if you will, a little bit. With a way smaller sample size, but man, I mean, I thought he got very obviously outcoached, and it wasn't even close in my opinion.
Yeah, it's tough because of how the series ended. I mean, you blow the biggest lead in finals history and then ultimately lose the series. And, things like that, in the NBA with how crazy things are, you can't get fired for. So the upside is, they're still so young, and they guys like Carter Bryant and like you were saying, Harper, Castle, all these young guys, they still got time to grow and develop a little bit more. But yeah, I do think it is a question of like coaching wise because with other coaches changing in the league too, it's going to be a competitive thing for the rest of these next couple years. And I think with Mitch Johnson, he just kind of needs some of that. It's good that he had that experience of knowing that he got out coached because now he can kind of take that and go on. But I don't know if I go as far as firing him, but if something like this happens again, it's probably it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go as far as like firing him. Yeah, it was his first year. I guess first full year, right? First playoff experience, not only for him, but the rest of the team. So I see what you guys are saying though. Like the way the league is changing, if this happens next year, the same thing, then I could see him canned.
Well, and
But
he's
like
young
this,
too, so like,
yeah,
who are you really going to try to replace? With another young head coach, but maybe Pop needs to talk to him for a little bit.
or maybe Bob comes back. Maybe he's like, I'm good now. Maybe he
I don't
comes
know.
back.
He was looking a little out of it watching those games with Tim Duncan.
No, you're not wrong.
But
I,
maybe for one
yeah,
game.
yeah, for one game, I could see it. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of just getting this experience. And I think going back to, the Western Conference Finals, I think not only the team but him as well. They were kind of just a little hungover about that. Right? You beat the reigning champs. You beat the team that was the favorite, right, to win it all again, go back to back, and it's with that young team. I think it was just kind of hard to get over that hump. Like, again, you did everything you were supposed to do, right? You got the leads, you played good, but you couldn't sustain it for the full 48 minutes. It was about 36 of those minutes, right, that you were good. And then the final 12, you kind of just blew it. So, yeah, I think it's just a matter of just, them getting the experience. I think they'll all learn from that. People are saying today, analysis were saying today, that this is like how Bron was in 2011 when he lost to the Mavs. Like, Wemby's gonna kind of turn around. I don't know if we can go that far, because you still got OKC. And my hot take, I'll give it. Yeah, why not? I think my hot take, I do want to ask you guys this too, so we can just do it right now. Early predictions for the 2027 finals. I mean, you two teams that I think are close, but they need a couple pieces. This could change based on free agency and the draft and things. But the West, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've been there a couple times, just came up short. I think if they make the right moves next year, they could do it. And then the East, I got the Detroit Pistons. I think Pistons, Wolves, finals, that might feed families. I can't lie.
I think the Pistons are the only team that can break the cycle. Keep the cycle going, excuse me, of like a new champion winning it. I think if it's not Pistons, it's for sure. Well, actually, I mean, probably only a couple teams. Really, I mean, Spurs gotta still be in it, though. That's the thing. Like, Spurs, like we've all mentioned, like, it was this experience with them. I think, yeah, like, they'll get back there. That's why the Timberwolves, I mean, my stance on that. I don't think there's a chance, as long as Rudy Gobert is playing, that they'll ever sniff the NBA Finals or come close ever again. Is they just have to move on from Ant, basically, or get him like some actual help, because right now Rudy Gobert being the center and having, I mean, who's the guy really besides Ant that you want for Timberwolves? Like, Thunder and Spurs right now. Yeah, they're both younger, but like, I'm taking just about 3 guys on each roster over like any of the Timberwolves guys. It's just like, I think the West is so loaded. That's why the Pistons, I think, are the only shot for that, just because, I mean, Knicks, who knows? I mean, they're easily could run it back. Celtics, are we gonna get a better Celtics team next year? We'll probably get into it, but what do the Cavs do? I mean, probably nothing, but like, you never know. But so, I mean, I think Pistons are, out of those two teams, Pistons for sure, I think, have the easier path, if you know what I'm saying. I just think the West has got two potential dynasties forming right now.
Yeah. Nate, before you answer, I want to ask this question too. Do you guys think that there will be a new champion? So this would be the 9th different champion, or will it be somebody from the previous 8 years that wins it next year? Remember, early predictions. This is before anything happens.
I don't think the Knicks run them back. I do think there will probably be a new champion again. I don't know where you came up with the Timberwolves. I feel like you were not on that wave all season, and then all of a sudden you say that, but that's all right. I thought you were gonna say like Clippers or some shit, you know.
Oh, no. I'm not that delusional. No.
But I mean, I don't even know. I do like the Detroit pick because I think they are. If you look at the last 8 years, it's kind of gone like big market, small market, big market, small market. And if the trend continues, the next team would be a smaller market team to win. So Detroit, I like that. It's obviously very early. They got to do a lot in the off season to try to maintain their core and make some changes on that side. But I do think they have, like Grant was saying, just a little bit more of like a easier per se, or just less retooling all around to do. Where I think the Timberwolves, they probably have a couple more question marks around their roster in terms of what they have to finalize. So, but yeah, I'm not exactly sure in terms of a finals matchup. I don't know if I have one just yet.
Fair. I mean, yeah, I know you guys. The Timberwolves. I could see. Cat was the last Timberwolf or Minnesota player to left and then won a championship. So, if it doesn't happen with Ant, then yeah, that trends probably continues. But I do think they probably got to get rid of Rudy Gobert, and go after somebody else. They
And
should go
Julius
after,
Randle too, honestly. Like,
yeah,
I
Julius
think at
Randle
this
can go.
point, I think at that point, the experiment's done.
Well, the experiment was started with Rudy Gobert when they made that trade. It still doesn't make any sense why they made that trade, but that's for another day. So yeah, I mean, it was overall, good NBA season. Shout out the Knicks, winning the championship. I was telling Grand Nate, this is kind of like if the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, like, it's like, disgusting. Like, you just hate it, but at the same time, because I like all the players on the Knicks. Like, I like Brunson, I like Cat, I like Hart, I like Bridges, I like OG, but it's just like the Knicks, like you could be on any other team, that team could be, and I'd be fine, but because it's the Knicks, it's just like nasty. So, but it is. Shout out to them. They congrats. City of New York, you got it. Residents of New York, I pray for your summer. It's going to be a ruthless one. Okay, so last thing that kind of put a bow on the 25-26 NBA season, give our most overrated and most surprising. This can be a player or a team from this past year. So most overrated, I'll go first. I'll start off. I do have a couple of players and teams. I'll just list them off. Players: Brendan Posmeski, terrible. Get out the league. He's one to start. Reed Shepherd, Houston Rockets. Yeah, I think your time's done. Very, very overrated. Overrated
Damn,
team.
just like that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
It's like his first year, second year.
nah. Yeah, he can go. He can go. He's a G League player. He's Mac McClung, but he can shoot. Most overrated team: Houston Rockets. Hell overrated. I don't know why people thought that they even had a chance. And then you also have people might be on the fence about this one, but I do think the Orlando Magic, even though they almost beat Pistons, I think they were kind of overrated coming into the season just because of the Desmond Bane trade and everything. I know injuries, kind of put them in a bind and things of that matter, but still, they're in my eyes, kind of overrated. So that's kind of my list of overrated things that happened over the season.
Yeah, I can respect that, especially the Rockets pick. I just think they didn't look bad during the regular season. It just I don't know, it kind of fell apart once you got to the Lakers matchup there, and it was really bad during that Lakers matchup. It was because the Lakers are not great by any means either, and they made the Rockets look really, really bad. So
Brown and
we had a
Rui
couple things.
Hachimura made them look bad. That's the thing too. So
True, true. Another team too.
That's crazy. Bron ain't
I
make
just
no one look bad. He's only making players better.
I don't know. Reed Shepherd was making him look better. The way he was playing. Goodness.
but no, the other most disappointing team by far, not even close. The Los Angeles Clippers are just got to be year
Yeah.
after year after year. I mean, since 2019, 2020, I mean, shoot, somewhere in there. I mean, truly, Sean, I feel it for you. I mean, this team this year was just shocking because not making the playoffs at all. I mean, the playing game, sure, but that's just that's trifling. I'm
That
sorry.
don't count. Yeah. I mean, we
That's
started the season 6-21, so yeah, they up there as well. Yep, I forgot them. Thank you. They're up
it's
there.
just well, I mean, when you got talent, at least if you're the Kings, that's one thing. You know what you're gonna get. Like, they're terrible, but Clippers, you gotta at least make the offs. You gotta at least try. But that leads me to my other point too. I think most surprising team. I thought the Blazers put it together a really, really solid year. I thought just with every it's funny too. Just with news that just broke today. The new hiring of a head coach there. Getting Tiago Splitter on the Bulls now. That might change some things because I thought he was great for the Blazers. We were just talking about that before. Um, Definitely got them out of kind of a trickier spot that most coaches don't find themselves in. So I think kind of just the composure that team had all year, and then again just with inexperience in areas, I thought they put together a really solid year. And I thought definitely kind of shocked me to see them in the playoffs for sure. And then I know they just won the chip, but I'm still taking the Knicks as probably one of my most surprising teams. I thought getting rid of the old coach, bringing in a new one. not really doing a whole lot with the roster construction. It wasn't too much change from the previous year, but man, they just like something about the Knicks, like they just play together. Like they're just a good team, like just start to finish. I mean, they might not have the greatest guys at each position, but they just get the job done when it's needed. I think we gotta give all the credit to them. I thought they just looked phenomenal all year, especially as the playoffs going on. Just what was it, 16 and 3. Um, I mean, that's just special. It does, that's definitely didn't see that happening. And again, just the 16 and 3 aspect right there alone, that's like up there for some of the better playoff runs just in NBA history, not just this finals in particular. But yeah, so definitely just shout out to them for the complete year.
Yeah, I like those picks. I'm trying to think of whether I want to go disappointing because there's a lot of disappointing players this season, but I'll kind of trail off of what Grant was saying for the, more surprising. I think, yeah, with the Blazers, like Denny being their main guy this year. I know he had some flashes like when he was on the Wizards and some other teams, but this year, I mean, he really kind of put his game together. But on the flip side, I think a disappointing aspect or team that I mean, you said it, the Kings. I mean, they didn't really have any expectations, but like, man, I don't think I knew one Kings like positive win or anything that happened this year. They had Russ, he looked terrible, like he was wearing number 18. It was just bad all around. So they're just disappointing because like, they have some guys, DeRozan, Levine, but like they didn't do anything. So and I don't even think any of their young guys really did anything either. So man, I feel bad if you're a Kings fan, don't envy it. Sean, I thought you were gonna say the Cavs for a disappointing team, just because all season you were talking about. Maybe it's because you were hating on Harden. I get that, but I thought they were a team that kind of crumbled at the end of the season too. Even though they beat Detroit on some BS, but getting swept by the Knicks was not, I think, a highlight to end the year.
Nah, not at all. They're up there as well. I mean, I kind of it would have been higher on my list if they would have lost in the second round, like they always do. But I guess Donovan Mitchell decided he finally wanted to play in late May this year. It's probably because he's getting married. So I don't think you'll ever see this again. So, but yeah, I mean, both of those, all you guys' lists were good. Shout out the Blazers and Denny Avdia. He was definitely somebody that just surprised a lot of people. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm sure we'll talk about this more like once we get into the offseason stuff. But the Blazers are a team that could have potential. I'll say next season. You got Dame coming back. Drew, I would assume, is going to be back. You got Denny back, so like this team is fit for being like a sneaky playoff team. They could possibly fight for a top 6 seed there. Just depending on if they make some moves around the margins. Jeremy Grant, yeah, he needs to just be out the league at this point. I don't know why that name just popped in my head, but I forgot he's still playing. But yeah, I mean, those were good lists, though. I think, too, another guy that kind of surprised me, took over this season. I guess wouldn't say took over, but until the playoffs. But Jalen Duren, just the way that he played this year. I mean, great regular season. Playoffs is a whole nother story, but definitely was not expecting that big leap that he had this season. So shout out to him, man. So, but yeah, so we'll definitely dive into more off-season stuff, team by team, go through that as we get after the draft. We'll give our little mock draft before the draft here next week, before ahead of that, and then go into the off-season stuff because we got some big stuff. I will ask you just in case because that's been the rumor is that Giannis is finally going to get traded before the draft, so that would have to be within the next week. Where do you guys think he's going to go? Miami, I've heard rumblings of Boston kind of been in the mix now, but you guys think it's any of those two teams or it's the others? It's going to be the field.
I'm gonna take the field for my sanity because I've been wanting him to go to the San Antonio Spurs for I think the past 3 years now. So
Facts.
I've been on the train so long now. I think I just have to keep riding it. But if not, I think I mean, dude, the Heat have been linked to him for like 2 decades now. It feels like his whole playing career. It's like every single game he's got like a good game or a bad game. He's in a Photoshop Miami Heat jersey. So at that point, if you want the honest truth, I'm more just less talk, more action with that because I'm about sick
Yeah.
and tired of seeing it milked at this point. It's like eh, I don't think it's gonna happen anymore. I don't think they have the cojones to do it. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think there's need to talk about it until it actually happens because I'm just done. Like I'm just tired of seeing it on the phone 24/7, and then you see 18 different Photoshop jerseys, the Guangdong Tigers included for some reason. I'm like, what are we? So like I just yeah, I'm gonna keep my silence on that one. Pray for the Spurs and to see where he actually ends up going if it's anywhere.
Fair.
I like that. I hope it's not Boston. I mean, I've seen that rumor too just in the past couple days. I mean, I also saw I mean, the Blazers as a potential, running back with Dame option. I wouldn't hate that, but I also don't know if Adam Silver will let him go to the West. I think he needs to stay in the East to have somewhat of a chance. But yeah, I mean, if it does happen in the next week, man, that's going to be crazy. I think that will really shake up a lot of things before the draft of teams, who they even might want to pick and, kind of the direction of where teams are going to go. So honestly, I'm here for it. I hope it does happen in the next week, because that's more for us to talk about.
True. Yeah. And I'm echoing what Grant says too. It needs to happen. I'm I haven't believed any rumors. I said I won't believe it until I actually see it. Until Sham says he's officially been traded, then that's when I'll actually believe it. But I mean, Boston, all I'll say is he goes to Boston. That could be scary. From Boston going to a 3-point team to now having Giannis on a team. Definitely, if I was a Knicks fan, I'd be a little scared about that, especially repeating and things. But we'll let the Knicks rest and enjoy their championship that they got. Hate that I have to hear from the fans for the next calendar year talking about we're the champs, and yeah, so can't wait till they get out in the second round next year. We'll see though. But that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, we'll catch you guys.